Well, it's an extra special night here at Sports Night. As anyone who knows me knows that I really, really love the sweet science of boxing. And tonight I have boxing royalty in the building, men that were nationally recognized as track athletes when they were performing at Cal State University. And if you're a fight fan, you recognize the face as the third man in the ring. But that's because they're twins. It's the same face for both of the men. They are not necessarily both Nevada Boxing Hall of Famers. We got one Nevada Boxing Hall of Famer and one that is going to be recognized here shortly as a National Boxing Hall of Famer. I am talking about none other than the brothers Bayless, Kermit and Kenny Bayless. Brothers, thank you for coming in. And I mean brothers for real.
That's right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can't get that wrong.
Yeah, I can't get that wrong. I can't get that wrong. So just so folks at home know, the oldest is... So we going age before beauty?
That's right.
Yes, you are going age before beauty.
I'll let him have it.
Age before beauty. So obviously people recognize your face is, because Kenny is in the limelight as a boxing referee here in the state of Nevada. However, you started your career in the state of California as a judge, and you've been behind the scenes for the entire time. Mm-hmm. Why judge and not referee?
Back in the day, when I saw the way those fighters were getting punched and getting knocked around the ring, that was the last place I wanted to be. I said, I'd rather be a judge outside the ring. It's a lot safer outside of the ring than inside the ring. He's got more guts than I do, so he chose to do the referee thing.
Get inside the ref and do the referee. Because sometimes referees, I mean, I'm sure there have been times in which, you've had to kind of get out of the way from a punch.
Mm-hmm. Sure, but believe it or not, I started out in the amateur program as a judge as well. We both did.
Okay.
It was one of the judges that when I used to compare my scores with him, said to me, hey, you look to be in pretty good shape. Why don't you try refereeing? And my first response was like his response. I don't want to get in there. But I thought about it and said, well, why not give it a try? And I contacted Richard Steele. He took me to the gym, got me started. The rest is history. The
rest is absolutely history, and it really is history. Now, you two obviously are twins, and I mentioned the fact that you both ran track at Cal State. What race did you run?
I ran the 400, and he was the fastest.
He was the fastest?
He was the fastest.
I remember you telling me that he was the fastest, maybe because he's older?
Well, I got an earlier start than he did.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, I started in high school.
Oh, you mean earlier, for real, an earlier start?
Yes, yeah.
Gotcha.
And he didn't start until 2 years after college.
Okay.
Now, if he had started when I started, we were already famous, at Cal State University Hayward for running the mile relay and so forth. We won the Far Western Conference Championship and the Fresno relays and the Santa Barbara relays. We was putting them up and putting them down.
Picking them up and putting them down.
That's
Absolutely.
right. That's right. Yeah. So we both were inducted into the Cal State Hayward Hall of Fame.
Okay. All right. As track athletes now. As being a former track athlete, it doesn't help you necessarily judging, but you as a referee, how much do you think that plays into your style and just being able to be nimble and be quick enough to stay out of the way of getting hit when you're in the ring with fighters?
It helps me a lot because, as I get older, I have to find ways to stay in shape, and I use my track background, the interval training, weightlifting, things of that nature to keep me ready and prepared at all times.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Now, the reason why we are here, my guy Greg, the director in the back, these are beautiful. The National Boxing Hall of Fame, the hats, Kermit has one on now. You guys are both being inducted the 23rd of April, so it's next week, Sunday.
Yes.
There's a big fight here in town, but no, you guys are going to the Hall of Fame, and there's no reason you should be working on Saturday when you're going into the Hall of Fame. Right. Is there any time that you thought that you would be a boxing Hall of Famer as a judge? I mean, you're a track athlete, so, you wanted to be a teacher. You were a teacher. You are a teacher still.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. This has completely caught me by surprise.
Yeah.
Kenny, the #1 referee, in my opinion, and I can be a little discriminatory, in the world.
It's hard to dispute.
Okay? I mean, he flawless as far as I'm concerned. And, a lot of attention was going to him deservingly so. Referees, on the other hand, don't get a lot of publicity in
Judges.
comparison, or judges, I'm sorry, in comparison, because you don't see them. You know,
Which is a good thing.
Yeah, which is a good thing.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
You sit
Because if we
outside
do see you, then something's going wrong.
Absolutely. You know, and so so do I think deservingly so I should be? Yes. When you look at what I've been through, the trials and tribulations to get to where I'm at, no doubt about it. I should be right there with the rest of them.
Absolutely, and it's not as if you've only performed in one state. You were sanctioned in California and in Nevada, so that's two different states.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And meanwhile, obviously you've done over 100, probably maybe 200 by now. I don't know. It's at least over 100 right now, right?
Over 100 title. Matter of fact, I'm pushing 200.
You got to be pushing 200.
Title fight.
Title fights. You did one 2 weeks ago. The Caleb Plant, David Benavidez fight. I was there. Great fight.
Yeah.
So, did you ever, in your mind, think that, you know, I'm going to go from being a track athlete, an All-American track athlete, I'm going to be a boxing referee? You know, and obviously you wanted to be the best, but is that something that you could foresee? That you thought that, you know what, your wildest dreams, you'd end up being a Hall of Famer, a National Boxing Hall of Famer?
When I moved here, Brian, in 1972, it was to come here to teach. I was recruited.
So both of you were okay.
Yes, I was recruited to come here to teach school. And I just so happened went to my first boxing match. I came here in August of '72, and in February of '73, I went to a boxing match which Muhammad Ali fought a guy by the name of Joe Bugner. And I got in, and I was mesmerized being in there watching the Muhammad Ali fight. And from that point on, I made it a point to go to every boxing show. I was hooked at that point. Did I ever think that I'd become a referee? I mean, did I foresee any of that? Not at all. But the more I got involved, going to the fights, the wanting to be a part of the sport, everything evolved from that.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Now, this is something I think that a lot of people would get some use out of. If you could tell me, why do you think Kenny is as good at his job as he is?
I think the duration of time for him getting in played a large factor. You know, it took him, 10 to 12 years. He was doing amateur, and he got to watch, I believe, that referee back east, Larry Hazard.
Larry Hazard and Arthur McCanty.
Yeah, he got to watch the styles and study those referees, and he perfected his craft. And that's why he's the number one, in my opinion, number one in the world, because you can't get no better than that.
I love to see the brotherly love.
Yeah.
And for you, the same thing. Why is Kermit so good at doing his job as being a boxing judge in your eyes?
Well, it's the same thing. Like I said, we both started in the amateur program, and it wasn't, and it was because the fact that he left Las Vegas and moved back to California was where I persisted that he continue working on his craft, because at that point there was a lot of things going on in his life, and I just didn't want him to lose that fire that he had when he was here, when we both were doing the same thing.
Right.
And he continued. He got involved with the California Commission, and that was the first start, and that was the main start. Because once he was in, only thing he had to do is do what he was doing here in perfecting his craft, and once he did, the rest is history.
So 20 plus years in California, and then back here in Las Vegas since 2014 or 15?
2015.
2015, been here and back here in Las Vegas. Now, this is something I think that a lot of people will get the entertainment value of. Obviously, you two are both twins. You've worked in California for such a long time. How often do you get recognized as being Kenny? Hey, Kenny, I need to get a picture with you. Come on over here, Kenny, get a picture with you.
Okay, all the time. I got brave a couple of months ago. I did a fight down in Stockton, California. And so me and Marshall Walker was going into the venue, and the guys come up, Kenny, can I get a picture? And I felt a little brave. I said, well, I'm getting inducted now, so I can identify
I'm Kermit.
That's right.
Yeah, myself.
That's right.
I'm getting
That's
inducted.
right.
So the guy comes over, he's got the camera, and I said, yeah, I'll take the picture, but I'm Kermit Bayless, not Kenny. And the guy looked at me, and he gave me that look that I've been seeing for the last 15, 20 years when I was telling people, that I'm not Kenny.
Why are you lying to me, man?
Okay,
right.
I'm telling you.
lying?
And that look came over his face, and honest to God, I felt bad. I felt bad because the guy looked at me going, come on, Kenny. And I said to myself, stick to the script. I'm Kenny Bayless. Okay, let's take the picture.
Let's go ahead and take the picture.
Oh yeah, right. Oh yeah. Tell me about it. Yeah, it's been ongoing.
It's been ongoing.
Ongoing. I don't complain when the pretty ladies come up and they want to take a
don't,
picture.
huh? Hey, Kenny, I've been watching you on TV as a referee for such a long time.
Tell me
You're
about
so good
it.
in the ring.
Oh man, I'm telling you, there's some highs and lows, and those are some of the highs.
Those are some of the highs.
I'm telling you, that's right.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So how often do you ever get mistaken for, say you're in California, you ever get mistaken for being Kermit? Maybe if you're in the Bay Area or just...
I've had people now are starting to realize that we're twins.
Okay.
I mean,
It's only been a few years.
It's only been a few years, but people are now starting to recognize the fact, especially boxing fans. Before, boxing fans didn't know.
Yeah.
But boxing fans are aware now, and like I said, when people see me now, they'll say, "Hey, how's your brother doing?" I get a lot of that.
Okay.
I got it today even, and it's just telling me that people are, with Facebook and Twitter and TikTok and all the different ways of communication that we got today.
I got you.
Yes.
Yeah, and the number of pictures that people are taking, and it just adds up. Yes,
All right, so a question just kind of goes out in the universe. Who's the better looking brother?
Well, I'm the better looking.
I love it. I knew the answer would
youngest
come
is
quick.
always the better
I knew
looking.
the answer would come quick from somebody. He's the better looking Bayless here, huh?
Well, I don't complain much like I used to. I used to say the oldest always is the better looking, but as of late, I've kind of relinquished that.
Oh, you let Kenny have it? You let the young man have it?
Yeah, well, like I said, those pretty women be coming up all the time, and that's all due to what he does, not because of what I do for the most part. So I roll with the punches.
You roll with the punches.
I roll with the punches.
No pun intended. Okay, I love it. I love it. Now, how about this? You have to be extremely excited for your brother, and the fact that you see him in movies like Creed, or Rocky movies and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
Like, how is that? Obviously, you see him in fights, pay-per-view fights, but actually see him on the big screen.
Oh yeah. It's always an excitement for me.
Because you're on the screen.
Okay, right. Look at my little brother. Boy, I can't get no better than this. So yeah. There's never a dull moment. There's always, the feeling that look at where we started.
Yes.
And look at where we've come.
Yeah.
And if we had been discouraged from the negativity that was a part of our life, going through the trials and tribulations to get to where we are, none of this would have been possible.
Yeah.
But we stuck with it. We stayed the course through the negative, all the way to where we are now.
Yeah.
If we had did like the average person and said, "Man, forget this," this is the uphill battle, I can't take it, we wouldn't be where we are now.
I got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
we stayed the course.
And just
and if I can add on that,
please do.
Brian, my brother is right. I went through some trials and tribulations, and once I got appointed as a referee, the trials and tribulations even grew worse, to the point that I was ready to quit. And I'll tell you, my mom used to say it when we were growing up as kids: "I don't like quitters."
Right.
I don't like quitters. If you decide to do something, you do it and follow it all the way through.
That's right.
So that was something that always stuck in my head. But Yeah, I was ready to cash my chips in and go home. That's how bad it got. But I stayed the course, and I'm blessed now. This with Creed, the movies I've been in, they're blessings. They are blessings for me, and I'm thankful. And as much as I thank the Lord for the blessings that I get, He keeps giving me more blessings.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be in a video game when it comes out. I don't know when it's coming out. They've sent out little portions of it to hype it and sell it, but yeah, who would have guessed that I would ever have looked out and done that?
And Brian, that's not the first video game, because I was working a fight back at Cache Creek a couple years ago, and a guy comes up and he's got his tablet, and there's a referee, and it's Kenny. So there's been video games of him already, and he wanted me to sign something, give him an autograph. Kenny, you know you're on the video game. Can I get your sure, partner? Here it is.
So when you sign it, do you sign it Kermit or Kenny?
Kenny.
You do sign it Kenny?
I sign it Kenny Bayless. Every single time. And I keep having that little suspicion somebody's going to say, just like Fernando Vargas, he's an imposter.
Man.
I had that little suspicion. Somebody one day is going to say, you're an imposter, and lo and behold, Fernando Vargas, he was the one that did it. So we all had a big joke out of it, had fun out of it.
Fernando Vargas, the Nevada Boxing Hall of Famer himself, and the world champion boxer himself. Oh yeah, I've been to a couple Fernando Vargas fights, Shane Mosley and everything else.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah. You probably did that fight.
Well, I did the second fight.
Of course you did.
Yeah, I did the second fight.
That's right.
Yeah.
Of course you did. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the one we had the hematoma.
No, that was the first
That
fight.
was the first one, okay.
Right, and then after Fernando's complaint was that it was a headbutt.
Yeah.
And Mosley's, their camp said that it was a punch.
Okay.
So that's what prompted the
second
rematch. And I did
gotcha.
the rematch.
Gotcha. Just boxing history between the two of you, which is fantastic. This is a question that I wonder myself. Can you think, you can't say your favorite fight or anything like that, I'm sure, but do you have a favorite maybe environment that you can remember, like, goodness gracious, the environment for this fight was absolutely fantastic? Maybe, because I remember asking Robert this fight, not Bird,
Hoyle?
Yes.
Robert Hoyle.
Yes, my guy. I love Robert Hoyle, one of my favorite people out there. Him and Bird. But just because you guys do fights all over the place, all over the world.
Yes.
And he's been all over the world. Can you think of maybe your favorite environment that you've been in, that maybe top two or whatever that you can think of?
Well, as far as here, I've done several Manny Pacquiao fights. He's retired now. And the one that always sticks out is the one that his fight against Ricky Hatton.
I remember that.
And the reason why it sticks out is because at the end of the first round, when I picked up the scores and gave it to the head table and went to my neutral corner, my heart was racing. This has never happened to me. I had gotten an adrenaline rush, and my heart was just pounding. And it was pounding because in the first round, there were 2 knockdowns.
Yes.
And the noise level got in there that was in that arena was so deafening, it just elevated me.
Yeah.
And I'm standing in my neutral corner, and I'm waiting for the bell to ring. But prior to the bell ringing, I'm saying to myself, "You better calm down, because that bell is ringing.
You're not gonna make it.
You got to go back out there."
Yeah.
And when the bell rung, I did settle down. Went out, and then Manny Pacquiao knocked him out in the very next round.
I was at that fight. And something I can remember vividly is, I don't know if you've seen it, but the picture in the newspaper the next day of Ricky Hatton on the canvas.
Yes.
Yes.
And it looked like he was asleep.
Yes.
The still, I remember it vividly, because I've shown people that picture. It's eerie almost.
Yes, it is.
Right?
Yes, it is.
Same to you, Kermit. Can you think of an environment that you've been in? Because obviously you do fights all over the place as well, that you can think of, that just the actual environment for this fight was fantastic. I'm sure you're probably a part of the fights. No, you've been back here since 2015, so I'm thinking of some of the fights they had in Los Angeles in the last few years.
Well, you're right on it, because I did a fight with Sugar Shane Mosley fought this fighter a few years.
Staples Center.
It was at the Staples Center.
Yeah.
And It was the main event, and it was packed. And sitting behind me was Magic Johnson and
Just Magic, huh?
No, his whole crew. You know, all these celebrities.
Right. Was Bernard Hopkins back there too?
Bernard might have been back there.
Okay.
It caught me off guard from the standpoint that I said a prayer. Score it the way you see it. Don't be influenced.
By the crowd.
By
That's right.
all this attention. And they were sitting just a few feet from where I was ringside. And they was cheering for Sugar Shane Mosley every round. Sugar Shane.
Oh.
And I, like Kenny, I could feel a little race, but I kept saying, calm down, score it the way you see it.
Yep.
And at the end of the fight, it went the distance. I had it 15-13 for Sugar Shane's opponent. The second judge had 14-14, a draw.
Ooh.
So that meant that we were 1 round difference.
Yeah.
All right. And the third judge had it something like, it was 18,
Oh, wow.
12. He had a big margin for Sugar Shane.
So end up
So
being
it was a split draw.
Yeah.
And of course when they announced my score, the people were booing.
Yeah.
Boo! But then what people have to realize is between me and the second judge,
1
There
point.
was only 1 point.
yeah, 1 round difference. And them rounds were close.
Yeah.
And of course the crowd was pulling for Sugar Shane, so it didn't bother how lopsided his score was from the other 2 judges.
Yeah.
That made me feel good that second judge
Basically saw what you saw.
saw what I
part.
saw,
Yeah.
because it was close. I practically almost had a draw too, but Sugar Shane didn't look like the Sugar Shane we usually saw in the ring. He wasn't landed like he did on his other opponents, and so I scored it the way I saw it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I could talk to you guys forever, but I'm sure we have more of the show to do, and I'm sure people here that probably want to eat dinner.
I know that's right.
Yeah. So I have to say, Kermit Bayless, Kenny Bayless, National Boxing Hall of Famers this weekend. First, congratulations to both of
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very
And I really do truly appreciate you both coming in here. Thank you very much.
All right, anytime.
Thank you, Brian.
Oh,
All right.
fantastic. That was fantastic.